Hello, everybody. It is Celeste Curry here with your Mind Shift Mondays, where I have Growth Coach D joining me, where we talk about, oh my gosh, we talk about everything, guys. But last week, oh my gosh, last week was so amazing, and we're going to pick back. Oh, he's on already. He is on it. So, whatever you guys want to know, we discuss it here. And so tonight we are talking about something that I think is it's an extension of last week. Hey!
Hey. How you doing,
I'm
Celeste?
good. How are you?
I am wonderful. All is well.
Awesome.
Nice
Awesome.
to join this room, this wonderful space on Mind Shift Monday.
Yes.
Wait,
Mind Shift Mondays. We've been getting it. We've been hitting some hot topics. We got the yin and the yang here. You got the woman side of things, got the man side of things. And I must say, I'm gonna give it to you. You have really you've been shocking me a little bit with some of the angles that you've been coming from as a man. Like it's like, okay, well, fill me in, clue me in. I've been a woman all my life.
really?
And so, yeah, I have. I've been a woman all my life. And so I love having you. And hello, Jewel B74 and the Collage.
Yeah. My
The,
St. Augustine.
okay.
Uh-oh.
Love the interesting names. All right, let's get to it. So I guess I will announce our topic today.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we were talking about porn. It got a little heated. Most people were loving it and were down for it. We got a lot of DMs and comments where people were saying, thank you for finally talking about this. Because a lot of people don't realize, people think that porn, I think what we said was, we were talking about addictions and we were talking about how crack takes out a person. Porn takes out generations. So that's what we talked about last week. And so now this week, because so many people think that it doesn't affect their children, even if their children never see it, I want us to kill that whole thing. Like, unless you and I have been very transparent. So we're going to talk about experiences that we have had as children.
Thanks
but
for
let's talk about, huh? What did you say?
How's my signal? Is my signal okay? Or is it
yeah, it was doing something weird, but yeah.
Let me switch.
Okay, you're gonna switch. So while he's switching, you guys have time to tell people to come join. Because I know I've been a therapist a long time, 26 years and almost 26. And so many people, there's usually one partner that says it's not going to hurt them. It's okay as long as they don't find out about it. We're gonna discuss that. But then you have the other person that seems to be has a very, I apologize, I don't do bugs, and I see an ant on my ring light. Thank you. I apologize. Okay. So we are here though. So we are discussing this thing. So let me ask you a question. When a parent, let's say a man, since you've only been a man, when a man has dibbled and dabbled or is addicted to porn, what's the harm if his children never find out? Let me ask you, what's the harm?
That's loaded. What is the harm? So you made a statement during our last live, which I encourage people to go and watch, because as one of my good friends said, it was actually loaded, and there's so much in there that if it was probably go viral. But porn is coming to ruin the marriages that are not even haven't even been imagined yet.
Ooh, say that again.
So porn is coming to ruin the marriages that haven't even been imagined yet. And what I mean by that is, and we touched on this at our in our last live, but there's a campaign that's called Stop the New Drug, and they sell merch, T-shirts that say "Porn kills love." And you did a fantastic job of pointing out how porn has this way of making you incapable of what you're really longing for, which is connection.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to rehash that. We are going to dive a little deeper into the effects on children. So the harm is multifaceted. One, when you have something that is a compulsion, it ends up impacting all aspects of your life, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
And I think one of the obvious ways that it's impacting and affecting is where you are passing through their gene pool, a struggle that doesn't go away when they get married.
Yeah.
That's not going to automatically be, eliminated when they get older.
Yeah.
It's a struggle that many people have for the rest of their lives, especially when they keep it a secret. And just in order to kind of make sure we can catch everyone up, the way that this addiction thrives is in isolation, in secrecy. You're only as sick as your secrets.
That's right.
And so in order to have and make progress, we've got to be able to be real with our flaws, real with our shortcomings, real with the things that we're struggling with. And so in order for us to be healed, and this is another lie. We talked about how pain that's not transformed becomes pain that is transmitted. And so what we're doing as men, by not confronting the issue, by not having real conversations with our sons, with our daughters about some of our struggles and some of what's in their gene pool, is you setting them up. You're setting them up for failure. Because they don't know what's in them. They don't know the proclivities, the tendencies that are already a part of them. And then you look up, and there's nothing worse as a parent than seeing your kids make the same dumb mistakes that you did. There's nothing that makes you just like,
Yeah, but that the thing is that, remember how we talked about the danger starts when the secret first begins.
Yeah.
So it's like you're setting your children up, like you said, for failure. So, and then that secret keeps you from connecting to their mother, or if it's the woman that's caught up in porn, it's the same thing. I know. And I remember years ago, a woman that, she's okay with me talking about this, but there was a woman who was telling me about her addiction to porn and masturbation. And I remember her, before she told me about the addiction, she would just say, I'm just not attracted to him anymore. And I was like, really, girl? You were head over heels, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm just not attracted to him. Like, if he wants to sleep with me, he needs to put a paper bag over his head. And I was like, well, those are strong words for someone that she used to be so very in love with. And so everything about him, she had a problem with. When she told me that she had an addiction to porn, and it didn't come out like that because she wasn't trying to change it. She didn't see anything wrong with it. But when she told me, I was like, wait a minute. So you've already eaten dinner when he comes to bed. There's no wonder that he's not attracted to you. But let me tell you something. When you are hungry, and when you are hungry and you want to eat so bad, that tastes so good, right?
Yeah.
And you want it. But let you be full. They can put your favorite food in front of you, and you'll be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And so, and that's exactly what was happening in their marriage. And porn, because it is in secret, and we won't really give a lot of the tips until the end. But one of the things is that it's got to come out of secret. That's the only way to deal with the enemy, isn't it? The only way to deal with it, it has to come out of secret. But in terms of children are affected by you not being able to be emotionally connected to them, or if you're married to their parent.
That's
because
right.
it steals your ability. We talked about it last week. It rewires the brain. Porn does. It literally rewires the brain so that you can't ever be satisfied. And then it stunts your brain so that you remain like 8 years old. You might remain like 8 years old. So imagine an 8-year-old trying to parent a child. You can't. It's a very immature relationship, and that's what you find. All right.
Yeah, one of the struggles, at least I know in some of our communities and many others, is why would you? We as parents oftentimes feel it's our job to have our kids look at us in light, and so sharing some of our shortcomings, some of our secrets, some of the things that have, may seem very counterintuitive. It's like, you want me to improve the relationship that I have with my kids by telling them about my dirty laundry? Like, it doesn't sound like something that is going to manifest anything that's going to be beneficial. But in actuality, oftentimes what you have is vulnerability begets vulnerability.
Yeah.
And in order to have a real connection, because your kids are going to they're going to come in contact with it, whether intentionally or unintentionally. They don't have to go looking for it. Porn will find you. It will find you.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down and I had a conversation with all of my kids, and I shared with them, just transparently, hey, you know what, this is what dad had, a struggle, and I wanted them to know, hey, this is something that you need to be aware of. That's passing through your gene pool, and that's a whole nother conversation. We're talking about gene pool. But I think that it's critical, that it is vital for people for parents to kind of appropriately pull back the curtain enough so the kids can see that, hey, you know what, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, they were human, and these are some of the propensities that they had. These are some of the proclivities. These are some of the struggles, some of the challenges. In order for us in order for us to take a different course.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very interesting growth. I remember I was 7 years old when I first saw it. When I first saw porn, and it's very weird. You don't know how to feel as a child, and it also becomes this thing that you feel so weird that you can't share.
Yeah.
Interesting as children, it's like, that even if you happen upon it, I think I happened upon it because I'm telling my age, it was VHS. Right? It wasn't even a DVD.
Yeah.
It was VHS. And so it was popped in. We were at my brother's house, and I'm the baby, so I'm a lot younger than some of the others. And it was like, it made us feel weird, but all we knew is that we wanted to watch it again. And so we did, as cousins, and then I found myself kind of sneaking one of the VHS tapes to take them home. And then at home alone, I would watch it at 8. And then I would be listening for if somebody's coming. I didn't know that it was changing my brain and the inside of me until I actually became so fixated on anything sexual. Like, it was the grace of God that kept me to where I ended up just not being promiscuous. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, because it sets you up to think of different people, even at 8, 9 years old. And then it was like, oh, never mind, I'll just do one. And that was nothing but the grace of God. So if y'all hear the little commercial in here, is that God can change anything, and he can take you from the many people's mindset to one person mindset. And so I thank him for that. But that whole thing, when you're exposed to it as a child, don't think it's not coming to kill, steal, and destroy every ounce of intimacy that you can have. Emotional intimacy.
Say that again. Say that.
So yeah. So porn really does come to steal, kill, and destroy every ounce of I'm sorry, I don't know, Instagram did something weird.
Yeah.
Every ounce of intimacy that you could have. And that that true emotional intimacy, that thing that connects us, that allows us to keep growing, void of secrecy.
Woo!
But
Every
it's
coming to steal every ounce
every ounce,
of emotional intimacy. And
because yeah,
that's what it's trying to do. So steal, kill, destroy. We know where that's coming from, but
yeah.
how are we fighting against it?
So we're not. We are covering it up
Come
as a
on.
society. We are covering it up. We are normalizing it.
Mm-hmm.
We are teaching couples that they can get their education from porn. Okay. Which is crazy. Okay. When I say crazy, crazy. And we're setting their minds up, because what it does too, this is somewhat of a side note, because I love entrepreneurship. The way it affects the brain, that you don't have to think.
Mm.
That's on a whole nother level.
Mm.
But yeah, I know. So we're going to pretend like I didn't say that to get back to the topic at hand. But any of you on here, if you have children and you are in porn, or their parent is on porn, the other parent is on porn, even if they go there for weekends, you want to have some talks with your children. Because if they find that thing and they've never known about it and never heard of it, and we'll answer some questions. I know you want to know, at what age should I tell them?
I'm going to say, Priscilla, not if they find it, when they find it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to find it.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to find them. You know,
Ooh.
not going to be, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
It's
because
when.
it's there. I will be, I'm sorry, I got a distraction. I forgot to put that do not disturb on there. But recognizing that it's going to be around, it's not going anywhere, it's going to get worse. There's only one thing for us to do, and that's turn the light on and start coming directly for it and having necessary conversation with our children. We have to have conversations earlier than ever before, because if we don't, then they're going to get their education from porn. They're going to get exposure without knowledge of how to handle, how to react, how to respond. What do you do? And there was a day and time, Celeste, where I was focused on trying to have all the parental controls, on all of these devices locked down. And then it just came to a day. It was like, look, you can access anything you want. This is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Whatever it is you're looking for, you can find it. I can't stop you.
Wow.
You have to decide whether or not this is going to be your life. I've had a conversation with you about what's in your gene pool, about, what the impact that this has on life, on love, on committed romantic relationships. And now, okay, the choice is yours. You have to decide whether or not you're going to, stick around this fruit. You have to decide whether or not you're going to say, you know what, I've seen how that plays out, and I'm probably not gonna want to experience what I see the end result being.
Yeah.
But with
you know what else?
Go ahead.
No, were you finished?
No, I am now.
No. I thought you were coming.
I forgot what it was.
But sometimes there's a slight lag. It's not bad though at all. This is so much better than it was. But I couldn't tell if you were finished. But yeah, so I love how you said we need to start having conversations earlier than later, because at 5 years old, 7 years old, they're finding it. I mean, at 3 years old, your children should know all their body parts, and that helps to prevent molestation. Believe it or not. They should know all their body parts. You shouldn't be saying my boo-boo. No, that's my penis. That's my vagina. All those names. They need to know all those names. The other thing I think, Danny, you made me really think about this when you were talking. I think we need to talk to them about love very early on. Because I think if we talk to them about true love, it's the thing that they'll desire. And then when we talk about porn, we can tell them that porn kills that love that you desperately want.
Well, that's good. I love that angle. Even better.
Yeah.
because you're coming at it from the standpoint of don't look for the counterfeit. Let me show you the real
Let me show
thing.
you. That's it. That's it. Let me show you the real thing. So when the counterfeit comes, you notice the counterfeit, you know how that does. It kind of, makes you feel weird. Imagine having, all of what God encompassed. And that's why last week we were saying most people are walking around still virgins.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. Because the way that God actually designed sex, and it involves you emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, mentally, psychologically, physically, and on some other levels that we don't have names for. And if you aren't getting it on all those levels and you're just dealing with this physical level, ooh, that was a good orgasm,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that thing doesn't last long. Now, I believe when you got all those other levels involved,
Mm-hmm.
see, porn can't touch that.
Mm-hmm.
Porn can't begin to touch that. So we want to expose our children to the truth and what love is. So when there's something else that tries to pull their attention, they'll understand, I am not going to forfeit this right here, which is true intimacy. And in fact, porn addiction, sexual addiction is called an intimacy disorder. It's really an attack on intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really an attack on God, because our intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy, is a direct representation of our relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I know we don't want to keep the people long, but let's give them some tips, because this whole thing we're talking about, that dirty little secret, women and men watch porn, are addicted to porn, or they think it's cool to watch as a couple.
Wait, so
It's
women
not.
are the porn too?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, they do. I told you about the woman. So there are some men, I mean, it flip-flops. There are some men that are complaining that their wives are not as sexual as they used to be, or not as, what happens prior to marriage is that people think that when they get married, that it's going to take away their desire for porn. That's what people think. They trick themselves and they fool themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But your brain has already been rewired, and it's wired not for one person and not for love, right? And so, and then when you get married, now let me shock you though. Did you know that statistics show that a man's rate of masturbation decreases some when he gets married? Now, it doesn't go away. It decreases some. The woman's rate stays the same.
Interesting.
If they masturbate.
Okay.
I don't promote it at all. But I'm just saying,
Okay.
if they do, it doesn't change. And why is that? Just like the woman that I was just mentioning a little while ago, I think that I think it goes back to so many things. But in terms of porn messes with your ability to be satisfied. It's like it's an abyss. It promises and never delivers. So you have to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then you're messing with the part of the brain that yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you say some of the things, because there are some men, there are some women. I know there was one person last week that I got a message from. They weren't particularly excited. They loved the topic, but they probably were in a bit of a struggle. And I pray for everybody, just in a bit of a struggle. That actually was, they were on the live. None of that's going to show up though now, but they were on the live, and I really pray for them, because when there's a struggle, there's also anger that comes up when people talk about your dirty little secret. And so let's give them some tips. Number one, for those of you that just joined, we are talking about porn. We were really talking about the effects on children, even when your children don't know about it, because it rewires the brain, and you're rewired so you're not wired for love, which affects your ability to have an emotionally transparent, open, connected relationship with your children, even when you think they'll never find out. You're different. So therefore you can't have a great relationship with them. But what are some tips that you would give? You do the men, maybe I'll do the women. But we can cross over.
I'll say for me, number one, we've already mentioned it, is leading with vulnerability. By leading with vulnerability, you're going to be able to have conversations. And it's okay to not be perfect, because guess what? Eventually your kids figure that out anyway.
Yep.
And it goes over much better when they find things out and you've let them in on your world, so that so that you are with the purpose of, so that in so doing, your whole primary purpose is helping them be better. Like, that's my whole goal as a parent. I want my kids to be better than me.
Yes.
Them to grow. We were talking about, going to the next level before we went on this live, but like, I want them to literally one up this entire generation, and to build on those obstacles and mistakes. That can't happen if we're hiding the mistakes. That can't happen if we're not talking about, the dirty laundry. That can't happen if we're just concealing our flaws and our faults, our shortcomings, our addictions. We got to have the conversations and normalize the struggle of this big thing that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And all other big things. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about the past.
Right.
What we can do is shift right now in the present. That's what Mind Shift Monday is all about.
Yeah.
Learning how we're not stuck here. We can shift into a better place. The conversations that you as men have with our children, with our partners, with each other, makes for a stronger society and prepares the way for some life-changing conversations to happen, because until we start talking about it, we're going to continue struggling with it.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
That I know that I'm opening up a can, and we may need to deal with it another time. For the men, because remember, men and women both struggle with porn addiction. But for the men that struggle with it, I get the women that contact me because they really do think there's something that they're doing wrong. So then they, you know what I'm saying? It's like it affects everybody. But when the brain is rewired from porn, they can't see that they are they caused the harm. So you need to take responsibility for the harm that was caused from the addiction. But it leaves you spiritually and emotionally immature, porn does, then you can't even, you gaslight the person. Like, these women are like, he said it was because I gained weight, but I'm only a size 8. And I'm like, that's not big. I'm a size 8, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's not big. But they're being told that that's why they look at it, or I do it to get ready for you. And so I'm just saying, for the women on here that have dealt with that, I need you guys to understand it ain't you. And for the men, like I said, the women that have come to me that are struggling with it, men, it's not you. She can't even see you through the eyes of love as long as she has a porn addiction. Yeah.
Wow.
Because there's a problem with herself first. And for the men, come on now. Let's be honest and real. You can't even see her because all you see are her flaws. All you see that her butt is too big or not big enough, right? Or her breasts aren't like. So porn keeps you in a comparison mindset. You're constantly going to compare.
Is definitely one of the enemies of love. Like, who can live up to those expectations? Like,
who can live up to a drug addicted woman that has to take the drugs in order to be able to act and dull and dumb down the emotional and the physical abuse that she's going through in order to even get on the porn screen? You can't compete with that. And then the man that has to take the drugs to keep himself erected that long, and they have to do take 1 and take 5 and take 6. There ain't nothing sexy about 7 takes to get 1 sexual session. I am Nat Martin. Welcome, girl. She said, my ex had that problem and I divorced him. Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, we need to get you on. We need to get you on. We need to get you on. All right, but you're looking like in the next week or 2.
Yeah.
So, and she divorced him. So she could never be chosen as long as he had a porn addiction. You'll never be the choice as long as your spouse is addicted to porn. And that is a harsh reality, but you can never be the choice. And as long as he or she can't choose you, your relationship can never take the place that God intended for it to take.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we're leaving these nuggets of hope, because if you're struggling, we're not saying that it's a hopeless situation. We're not saying you can't have a better relationship, that you can't grow from whatever place you are. We're not saying that at all. What we are saying is that the first step to problem solution is problem recognition.
Yeah.
And when it comes to starting the problem, preventing the problem before it starts, before it festers, before the roots run deep, yeah, and the tree gets big, because they say, I'm trying to remember, maybe Celeste, you can help me. There's a quote that talks about, it's a quote that's talking about kids and shaping them while the twig can still bend. It doesn't matter what kind of tree it is. If it starts to lean one way, if you catch it early enough, you can bend it so that it can grow. And it's another quote. I think it's another quote I'm talking about, where it's like, it's better to develop strong boys than try to repair grown men.
That's it. Say it again. That's one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's better to build strong boys, to build strong girls, than to repair broken men, to repair broken women, because porn breaks you, and it leads to all manner.
It breaks you on every level. It takes your attention. Let me tell you, if people truly understood what porn does, they would never watch it, and they would join the movement, right? To be able to free our families from it. Y'all, and I'm going to say hello to all the virgins on the call. I know that sounds crazy, because you probably have had sex before, but you've never had it the way it's been offered to you from God. You know what I'm saying? So, most people haven't. And so I would say this, just to give hope. I have seen so many people. What happens when you don't have the porn or the sexual addiction, however you act out, what happens is that eventually your brain, as long as you feed it and give it the tools that it needs, your brain is always trying to go back to its original reference point. And that's a freedom and wholeness. Like, it's there for you. Like, it's on your side. So don't think you're a lost cause, and don't think it's anything to be ashamed about. The worst thing you can do is be ashamed right now.
Yeah.
Okay? We want you just to bust out and say, this is me. Now, if you DM either of us, nobody's going to ever know.
No.
That's our promise. Nobody will ever know. And we will help you. We will help you. We will get you help, because we know that if we help you, we're saving 3, 4, 5, and 6 generations here. Remember, crack kills the person, porn kills generations. So that's one of my nuggets that I would say break out, tell somebody. And because remember, the danger starts when the secret first begins. No more secrets.
And I just want to say, make sure you, as best you can, tell the right kind of person. So you want to tell the people who have the right to know your story, to know your struggles, to experience your pain. Sometimes in desperation, we might share things places where they might not need to be shared. And I applaud the effort, but you really want to be strategic. Sometimes sharing means you have to pay. You pay a therapist. You pay, to be a part of an intensive. But you got to make sure that you steward that responsibility well. So having those conversations, getting out of secrecy, out of hiding, that's step one.
Yeah.
Knowing that there is hope. There's always hope.
There is.
Always.
And you're not a bad person. Like, no. People don't come out of the secrets because they create the stories about what it says and means about them. It doesn't mean anything about you. Strip yourself of the stories and just know that the freedom sits on the other side of the secret. So,
that's it.
That's it.
So, yeah, as we're wrapping up this Mind Shift Monday, please know that the effects of porn on your mind, the effects of porn on your children's mind, it's something that you need to be very proactive about. Because if you're not proactive, I guarantee you porn will be. and it
Yeah.
always costs you more than you're willing to pay. You
Yes,
know,
it is. It is.
forces you to stay longer than you're willing to stay, and you see the impact on generations. That's what we're trying to stop. That's what we're trying to prevent. That's what we're trying to shift away from. Breaking these generational curses starts with us opening up our mouths,
Yeah.
creating safe spaces like this, talking about what we've been struggling with, and understanding we're not stuck there. That we're going to be healed from it. We're going to experience
Yeah.
wholeness.
Yeah.
And like David said in the 23rd Psalm, God restores my soul. He restored whatever's been broken,
Yeah.
whatever's been wounded, whatever's been, broken down. God restores. He's a God who specializes in taking things that are broken and making them better than new. And
Yes.
so leave this Mind Shift Monday understanding that you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Starts with you opening up your mouth, finding safe community,
Yeah.
immersing yourself in the principles of God's word. And what am I missing, Celeste?
No, I'm loving everything that you're saying. And I just want people to look forward to maybe what they've never had.
That's it.
And that real love that we say that we want, it really starts with us emptying ourselves of the secrets so that we can even receive and attract wholeness. And
Yeah.
once we do, we are able to experience that love. It's worth all of it.
One final thing I wanted to have you remark on, and that's in your work and those who you have seen the effects of porn on children, on the minds of children, and this area of self-esteem. What have you seen?
You mean the children that have seen porn, or
Yeah.
the children whose parents?
Maybe both. But what have you seen in terms of the effect of porn on the self-esteem?
Okay, very good question. Okay.
Last question. We gotta close it off.
Okay, so I'll say this. I don't specialize in children, but I've had to see the children because the family has been affected.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was the best person to see them because I knew the dynamics of the family. And when those children have been exposed to porn, their self-esteem just plummets. Because imagine what shame does. Shame makes you feel like you are the scum of the earth. Shame will take your self-worth down and kill it. Shame will have you attracting friends that your parents are like, don't mess with them, they use drugs. Well, when I feel like I'm absolutely nothing, and the porn created this shame where I'm the scum of the earth, why do you think I'm going to hang with what people would call the scum of the earth? So that shame that's created from porn, and I got to keep it a secret. And anytime I'm keeping secrets, that means I must be bad. And children literally use those words. You'll hear them. If you hear them in therapy, they say, I'm a bad person. You're not a bad person because you found dad's porn. They literally blame themselves for finding the porn. Wow. But like you said, the porn will find them. I don't care if it's a secret. That secret will be uncovered. And so that's what I say. That's how it affects children. And the other way it affects children is parents with their dirty little secrets. It affects the children because you can't fully be present for your children because your brain has been rewired. So that's what I would.
Steal, kill, and destroy is not your destiny. The promise was that you should have life and have it more abundantly. As we wrap up this Mind Shift Monday, I want to thank Celeste for continuing to be consistent with sharing these wonderful gems of wisdom. And feel free to comment, like, share, and we would love to hear maybe things that you might not be comfortable sharing publicly. Please let us know, because our whole objective is giving you tools so that you can grow in these key areas of life by recognizing the power that you have to shift your mind. Let's reclaim this power that we have.
Shift.
Yeah. Shift.
I was telling a client earlier today, he was asking me some questions, and I said, I literally take my hands and I go shift back in a moment where I feel like my mind is somewhere else or I'm overthinking. I literally take my hands and I go shift back.
Yeah.
And I do it shift back. It only takes a few times and then my mind literally shifts.
Shift. Everybody I say shift back. Come on.
Shift.
Put it in the comments. Put it in
Yeah.
shift.
Shift.
Go. Shift
Shift
back.
back.
If
Yep.
back isn't the state, shift forward.
Yes.
But you can. I'm in my car right now, and I'm in control of which direction it goes. And that's how your life is. You are in control of your life. Nobody is coming to save you. It's your job to now
That's right.
to open up your mouth and share, because we're only as sick as our secrets, to have conversations with your children, to make sure that they hear from you before they're educated by it. Through these principles, hey, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Work in progress. But I'm appreciative of the conversation, the dialogue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Very, very good. Watch the replay, those that are just joining.
Yes.
Yeah, those that are just joining, go watch the replay. We would love to hear from you. Like, share, follow both of our pages, and we'll be bringing you more. And Nat Martin, we got to get you on talking about how that porn ruined your marriage, or you divorced him after that porn addiction. So we'll be talking about it. All right. Have a wonderful night, everybody.